Hi, my name is John, and I'm an addict in recovery. And I want to talk about dealing with dealing with the past. Like things about the past and how I deal with past issues and like a lot of times I think about like when I came in, like before I came into recovery, like for a long time I was stuck in the past. Like, I was stuck in trying to fix the past, trying to fix what happened in the past, and just trying to figure out what happened, and I was just stuck back there. And it seemed, like, and I noticed a lot of times, like families that I know that are stuck in the past, like they refuse to like listen to new music, like they're always listening to the old music, and they're always listening they always doing, like they refuse to change anything about themselves, like according to, and like that's one of the things that I have learned to do, like like even when they refuse to like change something in reference to their children, like they're always like, yo, no, this is the way I am, I'm not going to change, I don't care who you are, what you do, you know and like I realized that like a lot of it has to change, like when I look at the past, like I used to be stuck back there, and I used to try to figure out, you know like I thought that I had to live back there, like that I had to live in the past all the time, that everything had to do with, and even though some things do have to do with the past, because like it was when I turned around and was able to put down the things that I had done in my fourth step, and look at the past, and look at what it is and the behaviors and everything, that when I was able to look at that, that I was able to see some of the patterns of the things that of the the reason why I do things the way I do them and how I do them, and where did I get that idea from, or how come I think that way, and it had a lot to do with looking at the past, you know um and I used to think that, like, I mean, you often hear that there's really nothing that you can do about the past, because I mean, it's already done, so it's a done deal, so you can't really do anything about it. But there is something that you can actually change about the past, and that's the way you look at it. Like my perception to the past has changed because of recovery, and because it's just like people, who are history buffs, that look at history, that they pay attention to history, and like presidents and people who run the country and stuff, they're always paying attention to the past, they're always paying attention to some past issues, or how they dealt with something in the past, so that they can learn how to do it better today. And of course sometimes they don't do better, sometimes they do worse, but like the point is that they don't do the same thing that they did back then. They try to do something a little bit different, or maybe they try to do something, if they see that it worked, then they try to like do the same thing again now. What I'm saying? So like now I understand, that looking at the past, in a different way today, paying attention to its ups and downs, and what things work and what things don't work, like that helps me today, so I realize, and but sometimes I look at the past, and it's hard to not get emotional or emotionally involved with some of the things from the past, because some of the people that I have might have made some, some I might have done some things with, that I shouldn't have done with, like I still emotionally attached to those people. And like, I'm talking about like family, and like people, like I might have done something that I shouldn't have done with them and stuff. And like it's hard not to continue to like be emotionally involved, in that way with them, like, and it's hard to like look at them differently sometimes, but I know that that some of those things shouldn't have happened, and like, of course I try not to repeat the same behavior today, even though the temptation is there, the temptation to, like, I mean, to look at it that way, and to focus on it like that, and to like to try to stay away from those feelings, even though I still have some of those feelings, so like dealing with the past, can it can be a little bit difficult, and of course, like I had I clinged on to that slogan that I heard a long time ago, that there's three places that addicts have no business. And it probably applies to everybody, that there's three places that you have no business, and that's the past, the future, and then somebody else's business. And so today, I look at the past a whole lot differently, and I look at it as a tool that can help me to make decisions, better decisions today than I did them before. So even like the things that I'm experiencing today, that like tomorrow will, today, when I get into tomorrow, like when I be there tomorrow, like I'm gonna be looking at today as history, also as the past. So like I can learn from some of the mistakes that I make today, and hopefully do them a lot better tomorrow. So I experience, I've learned that that the past is a tool, that it can become a tool, that it doesn't always have to like be such a bad thing, and that it's not such a bad thing for me to travel through the past. Like I know sometimes we want to forget about the things that happened in the past, and there's so many things that are horrific sometimes that happen to us and that we don't really want to look at. But like paying attention to those things can make my life a lot better today. What I'm saying? So, like being able to look at that and traveling through those situations, even though like sometimes I find it difficult, especially when it has to do with issues with people who have hurt me, or who I have hurt, like you don't want to turn around and travel through, you don't want to experience those feelings, those negative feelings. But experiencing those negative feelings can be beneficial today, so that I don't turn around and continue to make the same mistakes today. And of course, to also give me the strength to be able to deal with whatever feelings that whatever hard feelings that I'm having with, to be able to deal with them today differently. So anyway, that's what I have to say about the past. And like most of the time, we become afraid of the past. But the truth of the matter is that, like if we look at it, with other people, or with a sponsor, with some friends, with God, that by looking at the past, that we can actually learn something from the past. So don't be so afraid of looking at your past. Thanks for letting me share, and thanks for listening. And if nobody told you they love you today, I love you, and so does the God of my understanding.